You are welcome to LFN What's Your Say? Clearly your number one listening show, where we discuss real issues with real people like you. We are still featuring R. Kelly. Real name, Robert Sylvester Kelly. Also known as the R&B King. Imagine sitting inside a courtroom where the silence is thick and the weight of every word spoken seems to hang in the air. At the center of attention is R. Kelly, the defendant. His future plus freedom and his reputation all rest on what happens in this room. The charges against him are serious, the kind that can alter a life forever. Yet as the trial unfolds, something becomes clear: the case against R. Kelly is not built on undeniable nor solid evidence. There is no DNA connecting him to the allegations. There are no airtight documents that leave no room for interpretation. There are no authentic recordings or physical proof that could close the case with certainty. Instead, the prosecution's case leans heavily on testimony. Testimony, of course, has the power to be persuasive that jurors often find themselves moved by the tone of a voice, the details of a story, or the apparent emotion of a witness. It is not surprising that false words spoken under oath can be enough to sway an entire jury. But testimony, no matter how dramatic or convincing, is only as strong as the person who delivers it. In both R. Kelly's cases, the people speaking against him are not neutral observers or disinterested parties. They are individuals who only agreed to testify after being promised immunity. Immunity is a legal bargain. It essentially says that you will not face punishment for your role in these events, so long as you provide testimony that helps the prosecution. On the surface, testimony sounds like a useful tool for uncovering hidden truth, but it immediately raises difficult questions. If a witness knows their freedom depends on telling a story the prosecution wants to hear, then how reliable is that story? Is it a faithful account of what really happened, or is it shaped consciously or unconsciously to meet expectations? This is the heart of the dilemma R. Kelly is facing. People who may have been directly involved in the same events are now sitting on the witness stand and pointing fingers at him. Yet instead of standing trial themselves, they are protected. Their testimony does not flow from a pure desire for justice but from a very human instinct for self-preservation. The courtroom in R. Kelly's cases has become less about truth and more about bargaining. Needless to say, human nature complicates the situation further. When people feel cornered and are desperate to save themselves, they twist details and reshape memories, highlighting certain parts of a story while leaving others conveniently unspoken. None of this requires outright lying. Even subtle shifts in emphasis can change how a story is received by a jury. For R. Kelly, this means his entire fate may rest on the fragile reliability of testimony given under the heavy weight of incentive. The frightening reality is that in many cases like R. Kelly's, testimony becomes the primary, if not the only, piece of evidence. There is no independent proof to back up the words being spoken. No forensic trail nor impartial documentation. Just the voices of those who were offered deals. This daylight injustice has left R. Kelly in a dangerous position. His trial has become less a search for truth and more of a contest of credibility between a defendant with little tangible evidence on his side, and witnesses who have everything to gain by testifying against him. It remains a fact that critics of immunity deals argue that they undermine the very integrity of the justice system. The principle of fairness demands that guilt be proven beyond a reasonable doubt. Yet when the main evidence comes from people who were promised protection in exchange for cooperation, reasonable doubt is not just possible but rather unavoidable. Even if a witness appears confident, the knowledge that their freedom hinges on the usefulness of their words casts an unavoidable shadow over their credibility. Supporters of immunity sometimes respond that the practice is necessary. They point to cases involving organized crime, conspiracies, or systemic abuse where insiders may be the only ones capable of exposing wrongdoing. Without immunity, these voices might remain silent. This argument has weight, but even legal scholars who accept it issue an important warning that testimony obtained through immunity must never stand alone. It must be supported by strong, independent evidence that confirms its reliability. Otherwise, the risk of injustice like in R. Kelly's cases is too great. Unfortunately, In practice, immunity testimony is often treated as the cornerstone of a case rather than as a supporting piece. Prosecutors know that dramatic testimony can sway jurors, especially when delivered with confidence and detail. But effectiveness is not the same as truth. The courtroom may be moved, the jury may be persuaded, but persuasion is not proof. For R. Kelly's situation, the danger is that his fate is being decided not on the strength of hard evidence but on the persuasiveness of compromised witnesses. Consider what it means to be a juror in R. Kelly's trial. You sit and listen to witnesses testify well knowing they were promised immunity. You understand that their future depends on the usefulness of their story. Would you feel confident convicting R. Kelly based largely on their words, or would you truly be certain, beyond a reasonable doubt, that justice has been served? That hesitation and uncertainty is exactly why the principle of reasonable doubt exists. Even history provides sobering examples. Wrongful convictions have occurred time and again, with many of them resting on faulty or incentivized testimony. Innocent people have lost years and sometimes decades of their lives behind bars before the truth finally came to light. Each of those cases is a reminder of how fragile justice becomes when words are treated as evidence without scrutiny. R. Kelly's case has fallen into the same unfortunate pattern. The courtroom is meant to be a place where truth prevails, where facts matter, and where fairness governs the outcome. But when the key evidence comes from witnesses who only spoke because their own freedom depended on it, that truth becomes clouded. The line between honesty and self-preservation blurs, and justice itself hangs in the balance. For R. Kelly's cases, the stakes could not be higher. His trial underscores the danger of building a case primarily on immunity testimony. Such testimony casts doubt rather than clarity and creates uncertainty instead of resolution. It threatens the principle that every defendant is innocent until proven guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. Real justice cannot rest on bargains. It must rest on facts, on credible proof, and on fairness. Anything less leaves behind lingering doubt, and for R. Kelly, that doubt remained the barrier between freedom and a verdict that the public will never truly trust. Thanks for watching this video, a production of LFN Media, giving you another perspective of issues at hand. We make it our business to keep you updated with the truth amidst the cloud of lies the media wants you to believe. It is therefore important that you subscribe to this channel, hit the bell icon, and allow all notifications so that you don't miss out whenever we publish a new video. Thank for watching this video, a production of LFN Media giving you another perspective of issues at hand. We make it our business to keep you updated with the truth amidst the cloud of lies the media wants you to believe. It is therefore important that you subscribe to this channel, hit the bell icon and allow all notifications so that you don't miss out whenever we publish a new video.